hey, welcome back. We are going to talk about something really fun today, adding 13th chords to your blues rhythm playing. Now, this might seem a little daunting if you haven't tried 13s or maybe even 9th chords, but we're going to break it down, try to make it simple, but also give you sort of the sound of what some of our favorite, blues and beyond players like Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, Lee Ritenour, people like that, like what they might do over a 12-bar blues. Make it sound really sophisticated and more interesting than just maybe your standard dominant 7th chords. Those are great. We're going to take it to a new place. Now, when we talk about 13th chords, you may be familiar with a shape like that, or even a shape like this. Those are big stretches and big reaches, and they can be tough to get to in the heat of the battle. So what I like to do is use really small 3-string versions of those. Sounds a little weird on its own, but when the bass player is playing a G, we're in good shape. I'm going to describe all this later, so don't worry about it. I play a D9 and we want a D13 sound. That's a big reach. Notice how there's a lot of notes going on. It's very jazzy sounding. We're just going to take these 3 strings because the bass player is going to do our D for us, okay? So this is a very important concept that goes through all of not only just blues rhythm, but in a lot of rhythm guitar playing. So what we're going to do also is talk about that thing. You ever play a blues and you kind of do that? That half-step approach back and forth to your sort of targeted chord. Well, we're going to do that also. We're going to use some of that 13th type flavor to approach chords, which I'll also explain. So the chords that you really want to think about are G13, C9, and D9. And in those 9s, we can build 13s off of them, which is actually pretty cool. So before we get into teaching, let me just play what we're going to do, and then I'll come back and I'll show it to you. So check out the playing example. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll break all of that down for you. I'll see you in a minute. All right, so let's break that down. We're going to take it nice and slow and really walk you through what I'm doing there. But if you want to take a deeper dive into this, I do it even more in a course of mine called Complete Blues Volume 2. It's on sale for 40% off with the links below. I'll put them in the comments and in the description. So check that out. Lots of really fun blues rock and jazzier blues, modern blues, all that stuff is in the course, both rhythm and lead in the same course. All right, love for you to check that course out. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. We're going to talk about the 13th chords and how we did all our little half-step moves and that sort of stuff. Let's take a look at just a G7 like this. Truth be told, not my favorite G7. Great for teaching purposes. Why? Because it gives you the 1, the F, the flat 7, the B, the 3rd, and the D is the 5th of that chord. Now that 5th note of the chord, that D, we're going to move it up 2 half steps, and that's going to give us an E, and what that's going to do is give us our 13 for that 13 chord. Now it's not a G6, this would be a G6. Since we add that F, that flat 7, and we're up an octave of the 6th, we get a G13. But I don't like to play it that way. In this instance, I like to use just the F, the B, and the D. Okay? And I'll even add the G on the top string there. Now we're going to go to a C9, which is C, E, B flat, and D on the 5th through 2nd strings. Sometimes you can even play that high G. That's totally acceptable. If we want to make that a 13, we can add our A note there up on the top. Now you have a C13 kind of sound. So you know when you're playing blues rhythm, you might have played like that half step approach thing where you know your chords, but you're approaching them from a half step above or below. We're gonna do that here, but instead of playing like a C sharp 9 to a C9, we're gonna play a C13, C sharp 13 to a C9, and we're only gonna use 3 strings. Strings 1, 2, 3 on frets 6 and 3. Don't even worry about the note names, but if you wanted to, B flat, E flat, and well, you could say A sharp, D sharp, and B. Okay? But just think of it as that, which is C sharp 13, just the 3 notes there, and we're approaching that C9. So here's what we're gonna get in the first 4 bars of that progression. So quick way to think about it, every time you go to that C9, play that C sharp 13 on the top 3 strings. Up to speed, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to come to a D9, and in the example, I just did a half step up, but then going back to the C9, guess what I do? That's right, C sharp 13, 3-note chord. Okay? So from that turnaround, a 1, 2, 3. How about this? And what I do there is I just play the D13 to the D9, back to the 1. And you can use these at different times. You don't even have to do the 13 thing all the time. You can do the half step above with just a 9. Let me just kind of jam a little bit, and you'll see what I mean. Let's pull the track up. Maybe that'll work. Here we go. Note 13, just 9. Half step away from the 1. All right, so just some fun ways that you can spruce up that progression by using some really sophisticated ideas that, when you break it down, aren't all that sophisticated. How would you practice this? Shape by shape. Take that little chord till you're comfortable with it. Go right to a 9 chord. Don't even do the half step approach. Try that. Sorry, I'm gonna get the glare here for you. Then start approaching chords from a half step away. Refer to the earlier in the lesson, you'll get all the ideas. But again, a lot of this stuff is in my course, Complete Blues Volume 2. There's a whole, like, 3-chorus version of this in that course. 40% off in the links. Check it out. Love for you guys to jump into it. A lot of people have had great success with that course. It's really, really fun. I did it with my buddy Brett Papa of Brett Papa Stash fame here on YouTube as well. We're good buddies and we spread it all around. So I hope you dig it. Check it out. Jump on the links. Drop a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up. And I will see you on the next lesson.